You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen, Comet and Cupid and Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous reindeer of all?
Charles.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games.
Hi, we're back. We're talking to you about free motion quilting today, and we have a few things that will help you get that done.
But wait, it's not just about free motion quilting. It's about things you need to get ready to free motion quilt.
Yep.
So
yeah, not just you know, the whole process of actually getting your quilts finished, because they don't do a whole lot of good if they're sitting in the closet hanging on a hanger, just the quilt top with the backing ready to go, right?
yeah. So this book here that says how to quilt it, okay, this will get you started on what to do to get your quilt ready to quilt. Basting, marking, even before that. But the great thing is, the author says that she is the perfect imperfect quilter. So I'm hooked.
And that was going to be one of my comments, that a lot of us, when we're getting ready to quilt our quilts, or we start quilting our quilts, look at the quilting and you think, oh, this isn't what I pictured in my head. This isn't good enough. It looks terrible. You know, all those kinds of things. You have to give yourself some credit. And when you're looking at your people for inspiration, you have to remember that they probably have a lot more practice under their belt than you do. So start off slow, start off simple, give yourself some credit for the practice that you have put in and how far you have come since you started, and just keep going. Practice, practice, practice.
Yeah, that's the key.
So we also have another book as well, Beginner's Guide to Free Motion Quilting by Natalia Bonner. If you follow her on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram, you will have seen her quilting videos. She does lots of videos just letting you watch her long arm. Don't be put off by the fact that she's working on a long arm. A lot of those can translate to the domestic machine as well. She has fantastic ideas and tips and tricks. The book has a few projects in it as well to get you started on practicing those free motion quilting skills. And it's a great book to pick up as well.
So speaking of practicing free motion skills, these skill builder panels that we have are great tools to help you with that. Because they have the lines on them that you just have to follow the lines. So how difficult could that be? And you know, it's a panel that you've purchased for that purpose, so you don't have to worry about, you know, wasting fabric or
ruining a quilt that you've put a lot of time into.
Exactly. Yeah. For sure. So we have Skill Builder 1 and Skill Builder 2. We do have limited quantities of these. But we have another one that Tammy is.
They've come out with the new one, Free Motion Filler Finesse, and she's put a few colors and fillers and feathers and swirls and leaves. So the idea with these is that you just layer it together, baste it, and then you will practice your quilting by following the lines and filling everything in.
I think this looks such a great thing to practice on because it gets you in the sense of handling a bigger piece, but doing different types of quilting in each section.
Yeah.
So, and you've got some color to make it interesting. So you can also play with some different colored threads if you want to do that.
Yes.
So
Yes, so those are fantastic.
now you can't really do free motion quilting without gloves, in my opinion. Not that I'm more the very beginning free motion quilter, but I really like I like both of these styles of gloves actually. The grabberoos fit a bit tighter on your hand, so if you like that tight feeling, and they have the little nubs. The machingers are a bit looser, and they have more just of a grippy fabric. So they do come in multiple sizes, and you know, people have their preference. If you've tried one and you're not thrilled, try the other one. Buy what you're happy with already. It's up to you.
If you're going to be free motion quilting your quilt, you're going to need to baste it first, right? So we also have the curved basting pins. That's a nice big pack, perfect size for basting your quilts. You can never have enough safety pins. You want to have more in there than you think you should have, so that you don't get any shifting and folds in the back of your quilt.
And those straight pins just don't cut it, and you figure that out when you mix a few in with your curved pins.
Yes.
Yeah. So these are a great thing to pick up on Reindeer Games for sure.
If you don't like pinning, we also have the free fuse, and that is it's like a dry powder that you sprinkle onto your batting, and then you will fuse your backing and flip it over, sprinkle it onto your batting again, fuse your top down. It works similarly to fusible batting, except the fusible component of it you are controlling by sprinkling on. There's usually enough of this powder to do both sides of a queen to king size quilt. But I tried it when we first got it, and I really like it. It's actually pretty cool.
And we know from those of you who use it regularly, we know there are lots of people that love it, swear by it, and that's the only type of basting they do for quilting. We see that from your pattern of buying, so it's great. It's like make your own fusible batting. So
yeah,
if you have regular batting and you really want a simpler way to baste it, it's a good option.
We do have it in a new refillable shaker container as well. They've updated the style of container, and they have the refills as well. So if you already have a container, you just need to buy a refill, and then you pour it in and you're good to go. If you are going to be free motion quilting, you may need to mark your quilt at some point too. So we have our favorite marking tool on as well, the Bowen mechanical chalk pencils. They are just like they say, like a mechanical pencil with a chalk insert inside. They come in various colors, and the white is my go-to for most marking. And I like it.
Except on white fabric.
Yeah.
And then you go to the green or the pink or the yellow. So yeah.
My tip with that is to only press as hard as you need to be able to see your lines, or you will have trouble getting it out. If you're grinding that chalk right into your fabric, it's not going to just brush off.
They really are a great pencil, and the chalk lasts a long time. So now tell us about ruler quilting, Tammy.
So we've had rulers on before. If you can't quite get the hang of free motion quilting because you just can't get those designs in your head and make them come out easily, some people prefer to use rulers to guide them. You still have to have the basic foundations of controlling your tension and your stitch length and stuff like that, but this will help you with actually forming your shapes or your patterns. We've had Angela Walters rulers on before, and she's come out with a few new ones. So this is Dot, and I'll pop a picture in the video of all the different designs that it can make. plus whatever your imagination comes up with. And this is Petunia. Cute little flower head sort of design. You can make all kinds of cute little designs with that. And this is Smiley. Lots of great designs with this one too. A couple of these are going to be getting added to my ruler collection for sure.
If you're not ready to jump into the design rulers, these are the great starting rulers for just helping you get those straight lines. And we have the narrower, which is 2 by 8, and then the large one, which is 3 by 12. So those are really great starter rulers.
When you're starting off with ruler work, I usually recommend that you grab a straight ruler. If you never really get the hang of it and you don't really like using them, at the very least, you will use the straight ruler for ditching your quilts and stuff like that. It will just eliminate the need to have to turn your quilts, especially if you're working with bigger quilts, when you're using your walking foot to ditch your quilts, because you can go in any direction with the straight rulers. I usually recommend that you start off with a smaller one at first, because you're trying to get, the feel of it and get control and all that kind of stuff. So you don't really want to have something that's much longer than your hand. Once you get really comfortable with it, you can work up to the bigger ruler. And if you have any of the Quilter Select rulers, they have the sticky back on them, just like they do with the cutting rulers. So those are absolutely amazing for doing quilting on your domestic machine, because they just don't budge. You don't have to work too hard to keep them in place.
Now you do need the proper shank.
The proper foot, yes. So we have 2 different feet. We've had the Westerly foot before, and I'll pop a little picture of that in there. You don't want to use the rulers with just your regular free motion foot. You need to have that thicker edge on the bottom of your foot to rest your ruler up against. If you're using your regular little skinny free motion foot, you're going to take the chance that ruler is going to slip over top, your needle's going to hit it, and then you're going to break your machine. So you want to make sure that you have the right foot. We'll have a list or a guide in the email or in the item cards for each of these, letting you know which machine requires which shank. So we have it in high shank and low shank. We have the regular Westerly foot, which is metal and has a little groove in the front. And then we have the fine line Clarity foot, which is clear and has a little groove in the front as well. Some people find that the ruler foot is a little obscuring when they're trying to do their free motion work and they can't see the surface of their quilt where the needle hits it very well. So sometimes the clear foot helps to improve the visibility. Yep. So you can take a look at those and see which one you'd like to try.
They do look like little Barbie stilettos, when you're holding them with your fancy nails.
They kind of do.
We also have the So Steady Grid Glider, which is a fabulous tool, I guess that's what you'd call it, that really helps you have the movement that you need when you're free motion quilting. It helps your fabric slide.
Yeah.
One of the problems that I've had is my fabric gets stuck, and my stitches then become very, very tiny. So if you're looking to have something to help move your fabric along, this So Steady Grid Glider is great.
Yeah.
And it comes in 2 sizes, 11 by 14.
Yep.
Or 12 by 20, depending on how big your acrylic table is or your sewing space is. It's also trimmable if you find that the size is still a little too large for your machine. You can trim it down.
Yep.
We'll have a picture of it. We don't have one here, but we'll have a picture of it in the video. And there's a little spot that
is cut out for your feed dogs.
So your feed dog fits in there.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yep.
And it just has micro suction cups, I think, to grab.
Yeah, I think it's like a sticky, like it sticks to the bed of your machine and your acrylic table so that it doesn't move, and then it just makes the surface that under your machine nice and slippery so that it makes it a lot easier to move, along with your gloves and your rulers and all that.
Mm-hmm. So you can just play and have fun, free motion quilting.
Yeah.
So that's what today's all about.
So those should be a lot of the things that you need to get yourself started for free motion quilting and getting your quilts done.
And that's what we want to see. Finished quilts.
Yep.
Bye for now.
See you tomorrow.